Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is the One Match podcast. I'm here with Sean.
Hello.
We got two very special guests, two of our best friends, very talented directors, and also amongst other things that you guys do. But feel free, please introduce yourselves.
Hey.
Yeah, hi, I'm Becca.
I'm Alex, and we're the two halves of Cinema Girl Productions.
Ooh.
We're directors and writers and creatives and best friends of Sean and Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To give you guys a little bit of background, Brandon and I have started working with Alex and Becca for the past year. We've been working on two different projects so far, one of which is from Dreams of Venus, who we've interviewed last episode. They were the directors for the music video, as well as an upcoming short film called If We Make It Through December. It's coming soon, I hope. But yeah, so we've just been... I saw that.
Yeah, we're twins as well. Telepathy as
If it
well.
makes it to December.
Yeah, if it does make it to December. But yeah, so we've been working with them constantly for this whole year, and it's just been crazy. So we're so glad to have you guys on. Yeah.
Oh, we love you guys.
Yeah,
We're
love
so
you guys
excited.
too. We
for
haven't
this.
seen you guys in a while.
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
this
This is a reunion.
A good
and
little powwow, as they say.
Yeah.
This is the thing with scheduling. It's like we gotta hang out, like put the hangout and the pod, and everything all wrapped up.
Work
in
and
one.
play.
Yeah.
Right. That's been a big talking point with like all of the people we've been talking to, having to balance.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's hard for us to discern whether we're doing something, whether it is for fun or if it is for work. And sometimes like the beauty of what we do is that it's kind of a mix of both.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
I think that's real too. Even with just like I found like with making friends amongst like the other like film students or amongst the departments, like you're building genuine connections, but you also know it's like we can utilize each other for work and stuff as well. Like it is a mix of both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing with like bringing this like whole brand together was like, it is that like we are work people at the end of the day, but everybody we hang out with is like really cool, thankfully. We talked about Sydney in the last one, but I mean, our DP for the music video, she's like a big time chiller.
Shout out,
She's
sis.
biggest chiller.
The biggest chiller, but you guys fit that category too. I think I want to start off with you guys first, and then we'll get into like our working relationship later. But how did you guys meet, just to start things off?
Well, we start at like freshman orientation for college. Like we were in the same group, but it wasn't until sort of the end of orientation, like after it's been like 10 hours and we're really tired and stuff, we were like in this sort of like computer lab, I remember, and setting up like our portals or something.
Yeah.
And we're sitting next to each other, and we ended up realizing like we have a ton of classes together and that we're going to be living on the same floor. So I was like, wait, okay, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
And stuff.
It was like chance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, obviously when school started, we just like had connected, and we're hanging out all the time, going to class. Like back then, it was just very like, we weren't even really doing much film stuff then. It was like very just like pure, innocent, like.
Yeah. Freshman year, dorm life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Going to the dining hall together, riding our little scooters around
Yeah,
camp.
and then after, obviously, like, our freshman year of college, COVID happened, and, like, everyone went home, and we had to have a little tearful goodbye. And then it wasn't until, well, we still had some classes together online, but it wasn't until we kind of went back to school that we kind of reconnected, and we were both talking, and it's like, I really don't feel like I know anyone that well within, like, the film department, or, like, it just felt, like, very disconnected and kind of scary, because, like, we didn't want to, go throughout college without, like, making other friends and stuff, or, like, learning more about film. So from there, like, let's try working on stuff. And that's when we started, like, writing our first script together and, pitching that to the, like, production 2 class. And everything kind of, like, snowballed from there.
And then Alex, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys actually don't live too far from each other then.
Well,
Hometowns.
We used to live together, which was really nice, about a month ago. But we're back with our parents for a little bit.
The IE life.
The IE life. We're only like 2 cities away from each
It's
other.
like a 30 minutes, maybe.
but
they're like deep in IE.
deep
Yeah.
in IE.
Deep in the IE.
We're
yeah.
true IE girls. What do you know about it?
We're from the
live
IE
there.
too.
IE too.
Y'all know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But no, that's good. I think I met you guys, at that point, towards Sonder, and that was...
Yeah.
I literally remember the first time I saw you, Brandon, which is
What was
really-
that like?
Well,
don't-
I was like, who is this guy that just showed up and you like you were setting up a tripod or something in the street because we were like prepping outside that the house in where was it?
That
Orange?
house is like
Pomona,
5 minutes away
Orange?
from here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Orange.
And I was like, oh, I don't know who this is, but he's gonna help out today.
That's kind of where everyone sort of like met each other.
Yeah.
Like that was
We
like
just pulled up.
the project like that. I am just so thankful for like all the people we met there. Like
There's a lot of firsts on that set for me. I think like Coyote Hills was like a challenge.
That shit is so funny to think about. Like
we didn't just do it one time.
we did
like,
it twice.
oh,
Dude,
you know,
sorry.
I've repressed so much from that.
Dude, oh my gosh.
I know, but when it comes up, it's like we really did that.
I like struggling with people. Like if we're on the same like place, like it sucks a little bit in the like during it, but after it's done, you're like, dude, we really did that shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really sick. I guess now where you guys are at, you know, in terms of like your creative decisions and like where you guys are moving in. I mean, like you say, you guys moved in together, so I'm assuming like the relationship's really tight. How has that evolved from, I guess, freshman year to like your first film to like now? Because now you have a few other projects under your belts.
I mean, I think like Sonder kickstarted everything for us. We like that was the first thing like that we have done, and it really built like our film community and gave us like a circle that we could trust to like move forward with other creative projects,
As well as just like we had never obviously like done any sort of film project together, and so we immediately dived into like writing a script. So like it teaches you a lot about a person. Like she would come over to my apartment at the time and we would just be like working on computers or bouncing off ideas. Like we'd go to the library and stuff, have like a whiteboard or like writing out ideas on and I think that's when we started like the mental sync up began to happen from that point on. Like
we're so strangely connected in that way. It's like we
We
finish each other's sentences. But
like literally when we're typing on script
it's like we're typing the same shit like, but it's like a blessing that we are so similar and like we work so well together.
And then I mean moving in together, that just made it so much easier to like just our schedules were a lot more aligned. Like we knew when each other would be home and we could like, hey, like do you have time, like let's work on this or let's come up with something or
even just like after dinner when we would be like hanging out, we were just coming up with ideas like off the cuff.
So it just made the process a lot easier moving in together and stuff.
Yeah, we'll be back to it.
Yeah,
soon, after this little
I hope
break.
so. Yeah, you guys are too far away.
I know. We'll be back. New year.
I mean, that's how we feel like moving. Like we've been living together for like a few months now, and like it just like we know each other's schedules already like that. And like when we come back home, like I think our biggest complaint is just we kind of don't have time for ourselves sometimes. Because I mean, we like every time we see each other, like there is, I think because we're involved in like so many other things, and even just for our own like projects and like even just this, like you find yourselves like. I don't know, like I touch my bed just to like really relax.
Yeah.
Even on the couch we're working, over here on these desks we're working. So I mean it's a good facility. I think we just want to get better at that time management, I guess.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question is kind of like, well, it's a two-parter. Like I guess how do you guys feel? You guys complement each other? Like what weaknesses and strengths do you have? But also what kind of things do you think both of you guys need to improve on together or want to improve on?
Oh, damn.
Well, I feel like Alex definitely is like a very determined person, and I think it helps me with my sort of like motivations as well. Like I feel more motivated to do stuff like when I'm with you. Like it brings that sort of like fire to it that like you know is what kind of you need to kind of carry you through something and keep pushing through. And then maybe. You know, I think with us starting out as like me being a producer and her directing at first, I had to bring, I guess, more like, you know, be the stability or something to, or like the realism. Or
you reeled it back in a little bit sometimes. Yeah, I think Becca, you just like your creativity is insane, and it inspires me how like easily things come to you, and I aspire to be like that, but. I think that helps in us bouncing off of each other and stuff. Like when I'm stuck, you have something and vice versa. Yeah. And like that is just it's so easy with you.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. It's like I can't imagine like sitting there and we have been sitting there alone when we tried to like write stuff on our own and there's writer's block and it's like I need help. I need the you know that person to like bounce stuff off of and just like keep building, like, oh yeah, and then let's add this, and then like let's add, and it just like grows into something so like larger than life. And that's then when you guys have to be like, okay, you guys tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have the budget for
we don't have a roller coaster that can shoot into the sky.
Don't get me wrong, you guys come up with some really good ideas and I want to do them, but I mean, like, look, if I had unlimited money, we will do it.
We'll put it in the back pocket for now.
Yeah, someone give us money. Can we have like a rich donor? Please,
anyone out there with some spare change,
sponsor us. Yeah,
sugar daddy.
Yeah, please, a sugar daddy for like ideas and
fund our creativity.
Yes. No, for real.
I think, at least I do, and I'm sure Sean, I'll let you speak on it, but I'll lob it up for you. We see a lot of ourselves in like your guys' dynamic, because I mean, like you said, I think Alex, you just have like a really like strong voice. You're like, like you scream it out.
I do scream a lot.
Yeah, and then Becca, I think you kind of take a minute to kind of like, I think you're quiet because you like to assess the situation, and like you can kind of take it from here. But I mean, he has plenty to say, and I have plenty to say about that.
I feel like I relate with Alex a lot. I think we probably like, if shit hits the fan, we'll be running. Like, but it's like, because we want to solve the problem, we're just very vocal, and like it just comes out very emotionally or energetically that like we need to solve this problem. So I feel like I can relate with you and kind of like that place in the dynamic. That's how I feel. Yeah.
I do think Becca is more like, she's level-headed. Like you can see things from like a third party a little better than maybe I can.
I definitely feel like maybe it's like black and white versus like gray thinking or something, where it's like you know, you have like a strong sense of like, this is what's right and this is what's wrong or something. I'm always like, let's weigh like, okay, what's the right path or something.
And then I'm always like, you're right.
Or like, I feel like Brandon, you're like, you'll sometimes take on that sort of like dad role where you're
Brandon is the dad.
Yeah,
try not to be a dad for a bit, but I appreciate it. Yeah.
And then after the work is done, then you're the crazy uncle or something.
Makes sense.
Cool uncle or crazy uncle,
both.
because there's a difference.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Not that kind of
creepy.
Yeah.
Cool, crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, not
Okay.
the creepy
Cool.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, what I kind of want to talk about next is, I think our relationship to each other. I think it started growing, honestly, this year. Like, this year's been a really like big year for us, because we've been just doing a lot more stuff. Because I think we've been putting ourselves more out there. But I think same goes to you guys. I'm not sure why you guys come to us to produce stuff. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I had never produced anything until.
Yeah.
I mean, he has, so I'm sure it was like asking him, and just the fact that we work together. But
it works.
It put me on a path, and so like you guys have a big part of why we're doing what we're doing and helping us get the ball rolling. So I would say like I'm indebted to you guys.
Dude,
giving that push.
We're indebted to you as well, though, because like obviously like we put you through it and stuff, like, and when it's our own project, it's like we can sort of be like, okay, I don't care if I'm gonna be taking on like a lot of hours or the effort into it, because we feel very passionate about it. But you guys bring a passion that's like, even if it wasn't necessarily like your concept or anything, like when you get on board, you are 100% on board, and like you'll do anything to like ensure that it happens, which I think is a great skill for a producer to have, where it's just that like we're gonna get it done no matter what.
I always want to try to tackle it from like, well, I think meetings I don't think we ever did this for Ventura, and I kind of regret it, but like the in-person meeting, or like us just talking shop beforehand, our chemistry on set was really good. So I feel like if we did do that, it'd be even better. But I think just having those meetings with everybody and just seeing like, this is the artist's vision, these are the director's visions, and everybody kind of had their input, and just making sure that we can kind of listen to it all. And I think that solidified to us like we have a really good and trustworthy team. So that, I mean, that motivates me, as long as everybody's kind of like driven. I'm a driven person already, he's a driven person already, but like if we know everyone's in it with us, then like, okay, hell yeah, like let's go for it.
I think there's also like this threshold, or like this point where it was like, obviously we all started off doing classes and doing projects that I think we would deem as low stakes, and kind of like, oh, I am accountable for this project, but like it doesn't really affect anyone else. Like it's just like for my grade. And now we're moving into a point where it's now like everyone's project on the line, and now we have to do, I think there's that pressure to do our part in order to make sure we're not failing like we don't want to fail you guys, especially if you asked us to do something. So I don't know, like that's just, I like that we're finally getting into that place where we can take things seriously.
There's more skin in the game for sure.
There is a lot of skin in the game.
Well, I feel like that also brings, a lot more of the pressure and the imposter syndrome and all that, because then
100%.
with all that on the line, it's like you don't want to let anyone down. And of course it pushes you to work harder, and it usually results in something good, but it definitely, oh my gosh, so much.
Especially with like fundraising and like all the people that put in money to these projects. It's like friends and family. You don't want to let those people down, but also you want to make some good shit so that your crew that you love and support have something to put on their
and be proud of
reels and their resumes and whatnot. So it is a lot of pressure, but I mean, I feel like all of us always strive to make the best possible product.
Definitely.
God, does it feel good when
oh my God, I know.
When we get
we were just looking up the analytics for Ventura Highway, and like the numbers are crazy in that, like, it's their first, I think it is our first thing that we pump out together as like a cohesive unit. And like I'm really glad that the rewards are coming in, so I think that's also motivating too. Is just like, okay, well, something works here.
I think after the fact, when you're like feeling good about it, then you're like, that's why I dived into another project. And then you're in the middle of the project like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But then once it's finished, it's like the same cycle,
I will say definitely that feeling and dread for us was pre-production, obviously. And being like don't get me wrong, I think there were days where I'm like, why did I want to pick up another project? This is a lot on my mind. But on the day of shooting, like everything pays off. Like obviously there's stress, especially for like, I think like obviously depending on your role, the stresses come at different points. So like for us, it's a lot in the pre-production, and I'm sure for you guys it was both pre and production. I mean, for you guys, you're directors, it's all throughout. But so I'm definitely really glad that I can look back on it as a positive experience. But yeah, guys, like Ventura Highway, it's been out for, I want to say 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
just over 2 weeks. We've hit 12,000 views. We're getting a lot of, I mean, they're, I think, modest numbers, but to us, for it being a first project, it's huge to us. And looking at that, having looked at the analytics this morning, like, the fact that we're getting all this organically, I'm really happy for, and I'm really happy that we have a lot of people to support us. So thank you guys. Just wanted to say that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you
too. This is their brainchild, their cohesive brainchild.
It's like, I know. I hope one day when we're like having stuff that's getting like millions of views, then we could be like, oh, 12K views. That was so adorable. That was like,
we'll be humble about it, but I mean, we'll be like, oh hell yeah.
I know, but it is right now. It feels like so big because it is. I think like
I'm proud of us. So that's definitely good. I guess just kind of kicking it off, because I think everyone has different motivations, and I guess where they start off with, especially here in film. Was there, I guess I want to say inspirations, like obviously like the bigger names and whatnot, but was there like a catalyst? Was there somebody in your family, or was there like something that happened that led you into deciding like, you know what, I do want to do film, or I want to pursue this career?
You want to go for it?
Sure. Well, like I didn't actually know that for sure I wanted to do film until like the end of high school, but like when I was a kid and stuff, we had like a camera, and I would like take my webcams and stuff and be making like YouTube videos in the backyard, and like it definitely was like the start of being a director, because like I'd have my little brother and I'd be like, no, they're supposed to say this right now, like we're just trying to like play pretend, but I have to like have all the control over like where the story's gonna go. And then, in high school, like I've always loved like performing, or just like anything within the arts, like performing and visual. So I did like a lot of theater, and like that's kind of where I learned about like acting and like characters, and like reading scripts and kind of like understanding it like in that sense, like for the characters and their motivations. So I think then with like when I was like, I don't think I can make it as an actor, but I still really want to be involved with that. And like then with going into film, I was like, I can still kind of use those skills and like maybe help other actors, like obviously directing them, or giving them like notes and stuff like that. That was kind of, and then also just like in visual arts and drawing and stuff, obviously then that plays into like with film, like the composition and you know the visuals as well?
I mean, similarly, I've always been like an art kid, and I tested every form of art you can think of, and I loved all of them, but I couldn't make them all my job. So I think in high school I had taken like a video production class freshman year, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. It kind of combines like a bunch of different art forms that I like, and I had been making like shitty YouTube videos with friends like my entire life, so I was familiar with like cameras and all that. And yeah, I just continued with the video production thing, took some like what was it, like the Shark TV, the
like
TV production, like did our news thing, and I loved it. And so I think like mid high school I decided I wanted to pursue film, and my oldest brother has always been like a film nerd too, so he was like a big inspiration. We would always chit chat about like little niche films and stuff. But yeah, I think it's just like it was the best art form to like showcase a lot of different things I was interested in. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and every day is new. I feel like
that's
also
sure.
Like when you're in high school and you're like, I don't want to pick one career or something because it's just
doing
gonna
the
be
same thing every day.
But this is like, you know, you start a new project, it's something fresh, and then you can lay that to bed and then start something new.
And there's so many different like avenues within it. Like color grading is its own art, like the composition, like
the set design,
the acting, like it's all art.
And if you're directing, then you get kind of a say in like all. You
get
to, like,
that's why I love it. I'm like, give me the control.
Yeah, we were definitely those kids in group projects that are like,
we'll
be taking the lead, right?
Yeah, if there was any art in any group project, I was like, me.
I feel that too. You probably do to a degree, where I think it just like eases you, because there's so much. Not to say that you don't trust the people, but it's just like if you don't know what's going on, like you feel like you're like, it does worry you. It
Be out of the loop.
Like being out of the loop does worry me a bit. I'm just like, okay, like even though it's not my department, I just want to make sure like it's good. And just being involved and like even helping them get to like what they need, like is that, I guess that's more so the producer role, but same with directing, you know, like you guys kind of take that mantle and make sure that vision comes to life.
I must ask, like, to have two people that are very obsessed and like want to not necessarily have control, but to, you know, be hands-on on all aspects. Like, I'm sure you guys butt heads, and I would love to hear like how you guys manage that, or if that is something that happens.
It's obviously, I think it'd be impossible to say that like it never happens and stuff, but I would say it never becomes like a huge like detriment. Like
it's usually very small stuff.
Yeah, it's like over, you know, maybe something creatively. I think we try to approach it with like, this is why I think it needs to be like, there's always sort of like a reason behind it. It's never just like, no, it needs to be this. No, it's like this, you know, this is where I'm coming from. This is where I think it could help, or like, then, you know, like both kind of sharing our perspective until we can, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's go with that. Totally. That I think that is going to be the best. Like it does take like sometimes, you know, taking a step back and being like, okay, you know, we trust each other so much. So I think it makes it easier in those situations if we do like butt heads on something that like, you know, like I trust you, let's go with you on this, or, you know, something like that.
I think we're very rational about it, and like we're open ears for any like suggestions or alternatives or whatnot. So, and I think we're just so similar that like we don't argue a lot, and we don't butt heads a lot. We usually come to the same conclusion for a lot of things. And sometimes it just takes a little talking to get to that conclusion. But it's like usually we end up with like, you know what, this is right.
It's like reminding us of like that we did agree on it in the first place. It's like no, remember we said we were gonna do
like
this.
Sometimes we just have different wording for the same thing. So it's like we think we're arguing, but we're really just like wait.
And then we're like, wait, no, that's literally.
We're literally just saying the same thing, like in different words. So yeah, we're just lucky that we mesh so well and have, I don't know.
It helps too that like for most of the stuff we work on, like we come up with like either the concept or like we wrote the script ourselves or like anything like that. So like we already kind of worked out a lot of those stuff like in that phase, so that when we're on set, it's not like there's no back and forth.
Right.
Really, like it should be more, it goes more smoothly.
It's all worked out before we like step foot on a set. Yeah.
It's really interesting to like hear the dynamic where you guys say you feel very similar and you guys kind of match, because I think Brandon and I will describe as our dynamic as very contrasty, and same goes for Abby and Daryush. So I think it's very interesting to kind of see the other side of that, where two people are working like harmoniously in like similar ways.
Yeah.
And I do see that in you guys. So you guys are you're very two peas in a pod. So
That's why I say we're like twins, because it's like obviously as twins you have your own individuality and you're like, well, I like these things and I like these things. Yeah. But at the end of the day they can be like, but we're still twins.
We're connected.
And we still,
yeah.
So share the mental,
We were once one.
Wait, are you? A long lost.
I fucking love you guys. Oh my god. I guess my next question was kind of that. Like, I think independently you guys are really like strong, but obviously together, like, you're not gonna beat that dynamic. But you guys have had the opportunities to kind of like do your own things. Is there a time where you're kind of like, when you're directing your own thing, you're managing your own project, or you kind of like, well, fuck, I wish I had so and so here, but like you don't have them? And like, I guess describe like what were those times, what were those moments, what was that project, and what did you learn about yourself without having the other one there?
I feel like if one of us is not, how do I say this? Like if you're directing something, I'm usually involved in some way.
Yeah.
Like I acted in your thing. So it was like I was just right there. Like we're very close in proximity no matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cuz we just want each other around. But
when obviously with Sonder too, like that, it was because we had wrote it together, even though it like that wasn't like a co-director, it was like producer and director. It's still, because we had written it together, we still had that like, okay, well,
we came back together to be like, is this working with the story, like whatnot. So, and
then I mean with like when you acted for me, it still felt connected. Like I still had my little like comfort person there, like. And I think again, like talking about like the low stakes stuff, I think since that was also like for a project too, like I didn't feel as like terrified to be on my own, because it was like, okay, like, it wasn't too much pressure. I think if it was something like really huge, I probably would be like, I want like, my person to, bounce stuff off of, because it's, when you're on your own, then you're just trusting in yourself and stuff, and it's nice to have that other person to like either back you up, or like you don't feel crazy, or to tell you if something's like going wild, or I don't know.
Literally the other things I've directed by myself of note, like you acted in. So I don't know how to answer this question.
We're always lingering close by, like.
You guys thinking of releasing that? I Smell You?
I do. I really want to. And like the only thing I was trying to figure out was like the music clearance, like and if I can't get that, then I need to change it to something and then release it, because I think it's short, it's cute, and I think like again with short stuff, it's like easy to find ways to push stuff like that and have people watch it. So
I think it turned out really well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
I do. I love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Bravo.
Watch, and then Ben's in it as well. Little Ben.
I know that was boyfriend. Like also part of the origins as well, right?
Yeah, Ben's a little lighting boy, but honestly, he's not just gaffing. He's growing too. I'm really proud of him.
I felt so bad. I was pushing him to act. He's like, I've never been in front of the camera.
He was good.
He was great.
He was good.
He was very
awesome.
natural for some reason.
I feel like he has the right like look too for on camera. Like,
Dude,
oh my God! For if we make it through December.
What?
Okay, so when we were shooting in the hike scene, do you remember this?
Yes, the old lady.
There was this very nice. Okay. Let me just
so
this whole section. Let's just talk about Ben for a second, okay? All right. First of all, he's downstairs. He helped us light this. So if you think the lighting looks better, it's him, not us. I love Ben. Ben is someone, like, we all went to college together, and Ben is someone that we met on our first set together doing If We Make It Through December. I think it was probably one of his first few sets that he's worked on too. And we had him on as a gaffer or a lighting swing, and he just like killed it. Anytime I spoke to him, I was ADing / producing, and like I would kind of talk to him and try and like get us ready for the next shot. and just hearing the way he would talk, like he's got a plan, or if he doesn't, like you literally give him like 20 seconds to like think
Very
about
quick.
it, and he'll lay out the plans for you. And he's just a very knowledgeable, well-known, like well thought out like person. And the minute we stepped out of that set, we were like, Brandon and I were like, we need to like keep him, and we need to like we need to have him on more sets with us, and that's been the case. Bro, he's just a stud. Anyways,
he is,
yeah.
He's like a Lego master builder, but he's also like it's like Matt Damon. He's like a young Matt Damon.
And so we had him on a pickup day for If We Make It Through December, and we were shooting kind of guerrilla on a hike scene. Obviously, you guys were there. And while we were in the middle of a take, there was some hikers, and one of which was this very nice old Korean lady. I think she was Korean. And she went up, asked us what we were doing. We were saying that we were shooting like a short film, and I think like she kind of had the idea that it was like a kind of
A big thing.
A
bigger
movie
budget production, and was like asking around, trying to like gauge just based on looks like who the actor was, and she thought it was Ben. Ben's a good looking guy, but she will like asked her husband to take a photo of
to
her
Ben.
with Ben. He's like, oh, like you're so handsome, you are a movie star. It's just so cute.
Yeah.
And they have a photo together.
Can we
and
insert photo here?
Yeah.
I don't have. I wish I had the photo.
We can get it.
Oh, okay, sick.
Yeah, insert if we have it, please insert it here.
But it was just a really funny moment. So just wanted to walk down.
Shout out
memory lane
Ben.
on that,
Yeah.
Shout out Ben.
Man of many talents.
And lover of chicken. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he loves
He
chicken.
loves his chicken. Oh my gosh. I guess what I kind of want to, go towards now is just like, I guess when you guys are planning out your future projects from now on, which I think we kind of talked about a few of them off screen, but just from picking apart your experiences before, like what are you taking into these new projects? And then what are some things, I guess just the main point of it is just what are some of the things that you fell into, like some of the traps you fell into or some of the ruts you fell into that you know now, okay, that's a learning experience, let's not do that for the next one.
So many lessons.
So many.
So many lessons learned.
My brain is swirling. I think one of the big ones is like, don't slack on pre-production.
Oh my gosh.
Like, don't go into anything without a storyboard, shot list, everything.
Like several meetings with every
Yeah.
department. Everyone is clear on something.
Especially on big projects. I would
Yeah,
say.
Yeah.
Make sure you're like very familiar with your location, and everyone knows the plan. Like everyone's on the same page.
And be realistic with like how much time you need, because like
The big one.
Yeah.
we're us under pressure, like with time pressure especially, is just like it just feels horrible.
I find it really funny. I mean, like, we're all obviously like you don't want to be there, but like coming out of that, you're like, damn, we really took that long.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's worth it. Like, especially in the music video, like stuff like that when it's more chill.
Yeah.
Because the narrative, I think everyone's just like, you got to go.
Yeah.
More moving parts.
Definitely a lot
Yeah.
more moving parts there. But no, I think when an idea is worth it, like it's just talking about AD experience. Like sometimes like we underestimate some stuff, which like sets us back even more because now you're stressing for no reason. So that's obviously something that we've learned. Just obviously from these projects that we've done with you guys, but amongst other things, and just watching other ADs like do a job and asking them questions. So time management, I think, is the hardest thing. I think just in general for anything, but yeah.
Sorry, I had a thought and then it went away, but yeah. Well, and also like sometimes even with going as long as we have or taking that much time just on one thing, and then you look back and you still don't have what you need, and it's like, well, you know what, again, just the pre-planning, like making sure that you cover all that so you don't have to, spend too much time on one thing that then you can't even end up using, or
Yeah, work out all the kinks before so that you have enough time.
Yeah.
How prepared did you guys feel for Ventura?
Actually,
Ventura, I felt a lot more
lot
prepared.
more prepared.
Yeah. I think because like we had so much fun, I think, with the pre-production for that, and like coming up with stuff and like fusing it with Abby and Daryush and like just like melding everything together, and we really got to like be more stylistic and come up with more like high concept stuff to do. So like I think then planning it out, like I guess that felt a little bit easier, like to I guess not easier, but
it was a little more smooth. Like, I think because this was like not a narratively driven project with like lines and whatnot. This was something we've never done before. It was just, I would say it was like smoother.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to worry about line delivery and like people forgetting their lines and whatnot, and we could really focus on the visuals for once, because I feel like that may have been that may have been where we were lacking in like some of our other projects, because we were so heavily honed in on like the narrative making sense. So like it was nice to take a step back and be like, we can actually make this look pretty now. Like we have time, and like the whole like period of time we have dedicated on set this given day like is to make this look pretty. Like that's all the plan is.
And performance wise, I mean, like working with the musical artists, like they have their own emotions that they put into the song that then, you know, like Abby was able to convey when like lip syncing it. So, you know, giving her notes and stuff, it was just like to help with that, but she already gave like a really good sort of foundation to work off of, so that like made things go smoother. She
wrote the song, so she knew how to emote it. And so we really like we're very thankful for that. And overall it was just like a very pleasant, smooth set. And we want to do more music videos.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Like,
because it was really just fun. It was so much fun.
That's kind of like looking to the future. That's definitely something we want to
on our radar.
Our little finger on.
Same here.
Yeah, everyone from that set, we touched base with them, and they've like been not bugging, but they've been like hinting.
Nudging.
They've been like, when's the next one? And I was just like, if it was me writing this, we'd be doing it every week. But just touching base with that being Dariush, I mean, they have been writing, so it's also just a budget thing. I mean, we're not going to say how much that music video was, but I mean, like, it was a
didn't come out of our pockets entirely.
It looks good for a reason.
So
we had help.
We did have help.
Thank you to everyone who donated.
Yes, thank you so much.
For sure, you guys killed it. You guys fucking murdered it. But yeah, I mean, just kind of wrapping things up here, I guess with our relationship to you guys, I think the journey that I've had with you guys personally, and then Sean comes in like the middle of it, has been really funny, and I think it's been very endearing, because at the end of the day, we're all growing and practicing, and I think just seeing you guys like still kind of staying together like made me really happy, and that reflects a lot to like how me and him are, and like just our other group of friends that are in film. So yeah, I mean, if you guys keep doing what you're doing, I have like no notes for you guys, honestly, like because I think you guys will learn, and we're learning too, like just amongst other things, you know, what those pitfalls are, and like it's good that you guys have each other, and it's been supportive. And I think it's cool too that you guys know, like, I want to keep this person around and like do things with them, you know. So whether it's gonna be like you guys come always as a parent, everyone should know that, put it on blast. That's my only recommendation, being like, if you want her, like, it's coming as this, and we learned that ourselves coming to that music video. But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say is I'm happy for you guys, you know, and I'm glad to be growing with you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. I love that like we were able to find you guys like another sort of duo of sorts and stuff. Like I feel like that just made it like link so.
I think it works so well. This like little quad thing we have.
Abstracts.
Abstracts.
If we ever start a band, the four of us, it's gonna be called the Abstracts.
Yeah.
Put it on blast.
Yeah.
It's out there now.
It's out there.
Oh my gosh.
We love you guys, and like we're so thankful to have you, and like your support on like all of our projects means the world, and we are so thankful that you put in your all to like support us and
you guys
whatever we want to do.
You guys give us like a different perspective on things too. Sometimes sometimes it's just man brain.
Oh yeah,
it is. Yeah, a little bit.
And we just need that, like, I don't know. You guys just bring it. You guys
feminine time.
Not even that. You guys just bring like a whole perspective, and like I guess it is some of that emotional side too, where you guys are like, "It's cool." You guys check in with us, and I think it's good to see. You guys would even offer to bring in some of the work too, which we appreciate, because I mean we are dealing with a lot. So I mean, it's good to hear. Obviously, we want to get like let you guys focus on your stuff and let us focus on our stuff, because everybody here is like putting so much on their shoulders already. But yeah, I'm happy to like go through the mud with you guys.
Aww.
End of the day.
I guess I just have a follow-up question. I echo the same thoughts. I don't know how else I could say it the way that he did. But
Sorry.
I'm just like same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Real.
Copy.
Yeah.
I guess like what are you guys' plans for next year? Where are we shooting? Where are we aiming? What are we aiming for?
Well, I mean, right now is just such a weird period. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to, like, get back together and, like, be able to get back on, like, coming up with stuff again. Like, I think Alex is finishing up school. I think that'll help, give us more time to, put energy back into making stuff. We brought up again the idea of, like, possibly, like, sketches or shorter form content that, won't take as many months to prepare for, as because we generally like going for, like, let's do the one big thing, so maybe some, like, smaller easier to put out stuff, or, like, even just, like, shorter kind of scenes or, like, little mini films or stuff like that,
just pushing out a little more content next year, maybe. And I think we've discussed possibly switching off with our, like, directing, acting kind of positions.
Okay.
So we're brainstorming that for next year.
Fun.
Maybe
like
doing some projects where, like, I direct Becca and she directs me in another project.
I think it's based off to the concept, because there's maybe stuff that, like, we feel like if this is better suited just for, like, ourselves or something, then, like, we'll act for the other person, or, like, if there's something that we think needs to be fused together and, like, we need to build that from the ground up together, then we're gonna do that. So hopefully it can kind of be, like, a symbiotic little, like, we'll have our co-directing stuff, we'll have, like, our individual stuff, but we'll always be involved, like, no matter what, like, with each other.
And this is stuff that you kind of want to funnel through your Cinema Grow Productions.
Yes,
Definitely.
yeah.
Awesome.
So we have a new, I don't know if you would call it a production company, because we're the creatives, but Cinema Girl Productions, we're getting her up and running. She'll be, like, our little baby where we release outlet, release our creative projects. Not limited to, like, anything in particular, I don't think, but just whatever we make, they'll go through there.
Just something that maybe looks a little bit more professional, or can kind of have a good little package of everything,
Bit of branding.
The umbrella of our brand. So
I'm excited for that. I mean,
Yeah.
as you can see, we're trying to start our own thing
One
too.
match.
I want to make sure
Let's go.
make sure we're in parallel and
Yeah.
just, working to help each other grow.
We'll be supporting you all the way too. So
Same here.
that'll be fun. Last little question to wrap this up, and we've been doing this with everybody. One at a time, I guess. But you'll be looking to this camera, say hi to the audience. But I guess what I want you guys to kind of reflect on and talk about is, if talking to this person, if they're, like, in a bad situation, they're in a rut, just creatively or personally, what advice do you have for them, career-wise, being film, and then also just interpersonally, like, what kind of things to inspire them to get out of that, just based off your experiences and what you hope for yourselves, I guess.
Well, I think in terms of, like, a person pursuing film who's, like, in a rut, maybe finding a group or fellow filmmaker or film connoisseur is, like, key. You need, like, a support system that knows, like, what you're doing. And I think, like, I was definitely in a rut before Becca and I started Sonder, and like, she got me out of my rut, and, like, Rutledge.
Real.
But
I gave you a ledge for
no, stop.
sorry, can you please.
But I think it's really important to find a community, and it's hard doing it on your own and, like, not having people around you that are doing the same thing. So whether that's, like, joining a club or finding, like, a community online, like, I think people will help you get out of it. And especially, like, creatively, like, bouncing off other people is so important, especially if, like, you're having trouble yourself. So I found that works best for me, and, like, this community has really helped me.
And I mean, for me, like, if I've been in a rut and stuff, like, sometimes taking, like, a look back at, like, the things that you maybe liked even when you were, like, younger, and kind of reassessing those can help you find, like, a source of inspiration again, because there's, like, a lot there that you know, when you're a kid, you're just like doing things based off of like what you want to do and like what you like. So kind of revisiting some shows or movies or like rewatching things like can help kind of ignite that little spark again inside of you. Definitely I was like a kid like on the internet pretty young, like, so that's inspired me a lot, like the different shows and anime and movies that I watched like through that outlet. So like if there's a time where I'm in a rut and I don't want to do something and I just kind of want to consume, like you can go back to those and consume it, and you might kind of find that little thing that like lit the light bulb in your head in the first place, and you know, then try and get back into it when you're feeling a little bit better, more inspired.
100%. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Alex and Becca, Cinema Girl Productions. Thank you guys for coming along.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. You guys drove a long way.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
guys.
thank you so much.
Let's go eat.
Woo.
Oh, yes.
It's a wrap.